Hello and welcome. You've got Bajaj Auto's numbers flashing at the bottom of your screen. 2,746 crore is the profit after tax, which is largely in line with expectations. There's a dividend announcement of 150 rupees a piece in terms of the dividend per share. And there's a buyback, which is a 5,600 crore buyback, which Bajaj Auto is going to undertake. It's a 16,000 crore top line that Bajaj Auto has clocked for this quarter, which is Q4 FY26. The expectation was 15,800 crore odd. So you've got that number largely in line. The margin number also absolutely in line. 20.8% is where the expectation was. So it looks like a largely in line set of numbers where Bajaj Auto is concerned. 2,703 crore was where the PAT number was expected at. So a slight positive bias where the PAT number is concerned, but we'll call it an in-line PAT number. Now, let me bring on board Subhash Gate from Choice Institutional Equities joining us to give us a lowdown of how he's looking at these numbers. Hi, Subhash. I trust you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Hi, Subhash. This is Harsh here. Subhash, on the top line, 16,000 crore, how are you looking at that number? What's your sense with regard to ASP versus volume growth? Any details at all in terms of a view there?
So, talking about the overall numbers, which is like we are slightly underperform our numbers. So, the numbers which came, actual numbers, which is outperform our numbers. So, we are slightly lower with the numbers. But see, we expect that the top line will be definitely coming around 20-24%, and which company has come up with something around 30-32%, which is very good numbers. Even talking about ASP, which is coming around 6%, which looks very good because if you're talking about company has implemented something around 6-7% this ASP, which is added in realization. And also overall volume, if you're talking about, which is come around 24%, which is driven by something 39% export growth along with 23% export growth in two-wheelers. So overall performance, which coming robust and also largely outperform our estimates in terms of top line.
Top line, that kind of sums it up. Thank you. That's super helpful. So top line, 24% growth on the volume count, that is on a YOY basis, which is largely in line with expectations. My understanding is QOQ as well. That number would be around the 2 to 2.5% number QOQ in terms of volume. And in terms of ASP, around 6%, which is exactly where even the consensus estimates seem to kind of indicate. What about margins, Subhash, at the margin number? Well, how are you looking at that number and the 20.8% margin number which has come through? Is that largely in line? And anything at all which you can tell us in terms of insight on that number?
So basically talking about the margin is like as usual, like even a last quarter also company has stated that the margin should be stable going ahead. So as for the management expectation and also the BBG consensus estimate is, so all the numbers are margin are in line with expectation, which is might be supported by favorable currency, better mix and operating leverage. So slightly somehow we may see that somehow the numbers may offset by commodity inflation, which might be 30 to 40%. This may impact it, but still the company has come up with very good margin.
And what about this buyback that they're doing? Of course, this was a much-awaited buyback. And the day it was announced, there was a spike in the stock price, evidently so. And since then, we've notched new record highs on Bajaj Auto in terms of the stock price. Now, 12,000 rupees a share. What were you penciling in? What was your expectation from the buyback? 5,633 crore, 12,000 rupees a share, around 1.7% of the equity shares, existing equity paid up share capital to be bought back. What's your sense?
So it will definitely give a boost share price as well, because since last a few quarters the share price is not giving such kind of returns to the investor. But right now, if we see that considering this buyback since last 2 to 3 weeks, the company the stock price showing some kind of positive trend, and this is something around second buyback company has coming with after so long period of time. The company has come up with last buyback. I think has like something around 10,000 crore of buyback last time company has come up with. So we'll definitely give a positive sense to the investors regarding these particular buybacks. I would say that.
Okay. Subhash, any other insight on the Bajaj Auto numbers that you have a view on? And with regard to the buyback itself, sorry, if I were just to take a step back, on the buyback itself, is this largely in line, or will it cause a cheer on the street tomorrow? What's your sense?
So I feel that like it will be largely in line with the whatever the expectation are there. So I don't think so there, because if you see that even we are expecting same numbers in terms of quarterly focusing also. But in terms of buyback also, we are expecting same and largely in line with the like whatever the expectation are there.
Okay. Subhash, anything else in terms of the numbers that you have thoughts on?
So talking about the key things to monitor ahead, like we see that like domestic motor companies are recovering, because this is 125 cc is the biggest concern for the companies right now, because market shares are getting reduced every month or quarter and quarter. But even companies are gaining their market share in terms of three-wheelers and in terms of EV. So first one is the domestic market recovery. Second one is that sustainability in export growth, because if you see that in fourth quarter as well as April month also, company has come up with a robust export growth. So sustainability of export growth is one of the important key monitoring going ahead, as well as e-scaling, which is going to be like break even last quarter. So when the company has come up with the profitability in the particular segment is also looking forward, as well as the execution of KTM integrations, which is also important key monitorable going ahead. So we expect these things to be, we'll be definitely monitoring this particular conference calls, which company is going to held on like today evening.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Subhash. We'll monitor all of that and more. Thanks so much for coming in and giving us that perspective. Largely in line set, maybe some bit of cheer with regard to the buyback is what Subhash believes. Out of time on this one. We'll submit a very short break, come back with more. Stay with us here on ET Now.